What's up, everybody? Hope you guys are doing good. Thanks for clicking this video. So today's day 2 of 500. What am I going to talk about? Day 2. Okay, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. A couple different things. Is some things that came into my mind before I clicked record. Number one is don't expect your journey on semen retention, or anything else for that matter, to be the same as other people's. You know, you got to start where you're at, and you're going to finish where you're going to finish. It's not going to be at the same finish line as the other person, and it's not going to be at the same starting area of the other person. Okay, this race is for you. It's you, you know. You're not racing against anybody to try to beat anybody, to be better than anybody, whatever the reason or logic is. It's for you to better yourself, and perhaps to draw you closer to God. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to talk about was, going through the valley. Everybody goes through their own unique valley in this life. One of these valleys can be opposition. Temptation is a big one. You know, when you're tempted and enticed to agitate that lower root chakra, that some people call it, the lower energy center, the private areas, the sexual reproductive organs. You know, when you're enticed to do that, it can be a struggle. It can be pretty hard. But a wise man will always get better after he makes a mistake, after he has a failure or a shortcoming. When he finds himself in a valley, you know, a valley is can be a time for testing, you know. But there's other places, man. Well, they'll just try to bury you. They'll try to completely stop you on your journey. And you have your main path in life, and nobody's path is the same. But you have your main path in life, and there's like these beautiful pit stops, man. That's like full of colors and lights, and it looks very attractive. So you go in there, and it's like, next thing you know, man, it's like a strip club or something. And it's like your flesh is enticed, you're aroused, you think you're having a good time, but then when it's over, you always realize when it's over. So this is like, isn't it funny though? It's interesting, isn't it? I know everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. It all seems fun when you're enticing, when you're being dragged away by your desires and passions, you know, and you're in the moment, and then it's over with. You're like, oh crap, why'd I do that? Or how, you know? So you're sitting there trying to figure out, you know, your weaknesses and trying to strengthen yourself for the next time that you will be faced with temptation. That's what I do. And I was aligning that up with scriptures. I didn't read it last night or the other night. It's just something that clicked in my mind about what a wise man does. Is like, if a wise man is corrected, he will gladly receive that and try to become better. You know, like a prideful person or a person full of ego, if someone is kind of corrected, you know, they'll instantly shut you down and instantly shut you out and say, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm perfectly fine. Whatever way they deliver their defense. But a wise man, if they hear something and say, hey, you're weak in this area, and even if they're meant to like be mean or rude or to ridicule or scorn you or something like that, or meant to drag you down, a wise man will still take that in. He will ponder that and say, okay, is this truly a weak area in my life? Because if it is, a wise man will be eager to strengthen that area in his life. So a lot of people realize, a lot of men, a lot of women out here, you know, if they are wise at all, they will say, yeah, how can I strengthen my weak areas in my life? And it could be, you know, that energy, agitation, that enticement that always seems to be activated. It's like part of humanity, you know. It is what it is. Some people have erectile dysfunction, you know. Some people have a hard time getting it up in marriages and all this other stuff. But it's like, you know, if you have like a very active sexual organ, so to speak, without you really volunteering in it, you know, it's like the opposite of ED. You know, I keep reading on these ancient books, like you're blessed. It's a blessing. You always get these urges. Like, this is a good indicator that you're actually very blessed and you have a lot of capability, a lot of potential power, a lot of potential energy to be cultivated. You know what I mean? So I think people who are like that are designed to be on semen retention. That's just my opinion. Or they can be one of those guys who's really proud of himself in a relationship and says, I have sex with my girl every single day, and he brags about it. You know what I mean? If that's you, I'm not, whatever, if it's in a marriage, then that's none of my business. But it's, more times than not, what I have found through reading other people's, stories on Reddit and watching other people's, experiences, journeys on YouTube and so on and so forth, and reading books, you compile some information and you kind of come to a general assumption. That's what I've come to the conclusion of, is that, it's really a blessing if you have a lot of urges. So, what is that saying? I can't think of it right now. Oh, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So you have a lot of responsibility to nurture this and control it, to control yourself, and to cultivate this energy, this essence, into higher things, better things. It gets off into the esoterics, but it can really help in many ways, man. In health and wellness and longevity, just all sorts of good stuff. I'm not going to dig into that on this video, but that's all I really wanted to say today, I think, guys. So just a little update, day 2, pushing to day 500. Hope you guys are doing good, whatever day you're on. So if you have recently fell short, just remember, what was your triggers, and just keep on refining yourself and keep on strengthening that weak area. Find out that part of you. That part of you enough, I think. Where it's just like sometimes things just completely go out the window, where you just don't even think at all. Sometimes that happens to me, where I just have no logic. That's a part that I'm looking to somehow integrate in that very moment. It's easier said when you're out of that mindset. You're like, well, just do this, do that. And I've done that, and it's like, okay. And then sometimes it's just like, I gotta, I'm still working on it. I'm still working on myself with that. Like, what do I do in that moment when I'm tempted on that high level intensity, where you're just not thinking, and, you're boom. Next thing you know, it's like everything kind of floods back in. Then all the importance of it comes back. It's like, man, what the heck happened, So I'm still trying to figure that out. I know a lot of other people are, because that's how people relapse. That's how people do wrong things and make wrong choices, Their logic is there after the moment. Like, yeah, they try to make sense of it, like, I just wasn't thinking right. I just wasn't thinking straight, or I was in the moment, or this or that. They always come up with excuses. But yeah, it's just like strengthening your weak areas, so when you are hit again in that battle, you can hopefully come at it stronger. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good day, man. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.